Hello everyone, welcome back. And today we are back again with yet another session from Vismit. So Vismit Sudhir Rakhecha has been in the security field from last 7 plus years and currently working as security analyst for Evolent Health International. Vismit has published white papers on wildfire trade over the internet, digital mafia, decrypted, presented the research papers in Hackon, CSA, OWASP, HackTech, etc. In his free time, he does bug bounty. Avira, Sony, Nokia, Hacker, AT&T are the few famous names who rewarded Vismeet for finding the bugs in their product. And just to add, Vismeet has delivered 100 plus sessions on security topic within colleges, government sector. He is OWASP Ahmedabad India chapter lead as well. So it's a very it's a privilege to have Vismeet with us today. And with that, let's get started. Over to you, Vismeet, for today's session.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining. So today my topic is IoT Anubhrut. So who am I? My name is Vismit Rakhecha, aka Druk. I am SSCP, CHFI, CCI Security. Currently working as Senior Security Analyst at Evolent Health International. I am Chapter Lead of Web Ahmedabad, a bug hunter. So quickly going through disclaimer, I don't own any of the images I used in this slides, I simply googled it. Whatever I am demonstrating is for educational purpose only. Research was conducted by me and does not reflect the vision of Evolent Health. What is IoT basically? If we're going to like wiki definition, the IoT is a system of interrelated computing devices, mechanical and digital machines, objects and objects, animals, or people that are provided with the unique identifiers and the ability to transfer data over a network without requiring human to human or human to computer interaction. Okay, in the simple way, IoT is basically it's basically can be a gadget, okay, with some CPUs, RAM, chips, and protocol device. Okay, it's not like your typical laptop or a system with a keyboard or with a mouse pad. Okay, depend on the device. Okay, what you are using. Okay, it can be customized. Like, okay, if I'm using a smartwatch, so it's just having a display panel. Okay, and a touch sensor. Okay, if I'm using a smart cam, so it's just having a cam over there, a recording device, and a protocol or a Wi-Fi card in that. Okay, so basically that is IoT. If I'm talking about like, okay, when we say IoT, it's really cool thing right now. Everyone is just running towards IoT or IoT security or IoT pen testing or development of some IoT devices, robotics. Okay, so basically IoT is a combination of 4 or 5 things. Okay, that is basically your hardware, your web and mobile application, cloud, internet, and a communication. Okay, so basically that whole bunch makes the IoT. Obviously, like, okay, if I just take an example of a smartwatch. Okay, so it's basically you are having the hardware, the band you are wearing. Okay, mobile application from which you are just syncing up with your phone and your watch. Okay, cloud, we are not having cloud in a smart band, but if you are talking about a smart cam, or then we are having a cloud, so we can just post your videos or a photo over there. Internet, obviously you require an internet connection or some BLE connection to make a communication with your device and with your mobile application. So there are lots of internet of device right now present in the market. You are having a smart coffee maker, a smart band, a smart guns, cams, locks. Okay, there are thousands of things available. Okay, with the with the tag name of a smart. Okay, but what I researched in few past years. Okay, and I have few friends in IoT security or a VAPT also, but they are not such smart things. Just they are simply making your work easy or just giving you some cool gadgets so you just look cool. That's all. Even we are having a pacemaker. I think if you remember or not, in that con, okay, guys showed like, okay, how you can hack a pacemaker. It's damn easy that if you hack some pacemaker, you can give him a shock that can give him or her to a death. Okay, so there are lots of devices, even a coffee maker. I think everyone there was a picture viral, I think last year, with a ransom thing like, okay, if you are using thousands of
smart devices in your home, like okay, a coffee maker or a vacuum cleaner, or you can say a smart camera for that, tracking devices. Okay, so it's basically one can easily hack that thing out and just start malfunctioning it. Okay, one can demand a ransom for that. So all the IoT things are common, are having a common things like CPUs. You can have a camera over there. Okay, but what I found out, like okay, there are lots of issues. Like there is no authentication. Okay, in most of the IoT devices, there is no security, there is no encryption. Okay, in most of the IoT devices, the API, you can find some secret keys, some username and a password in their APIs. Okay, and you can find some backup files. The cloud communication is not encrypted. So there are lots of issues going on with the IoT devices. These are some current news. Okay, what I think is like Australian security camera hack is streamed on the Russian-based website. Microsoft catches Russians, said hackers using IoT devices to breach the network. Drones, vibrators, kids' toys. Like okay, I think I remember. Like okay, I think few months back there is a child monitoring cam. Okay, it is vulnerable to, like okay, someone can hack into it. Okay, and they can just record whatever things are going into your child room. Okay, or what they are doing. Okay, vibrators. Okay, sex toys. There are lots of things. Okay, as I already tell you, the companies make it smart, but they are damn lazy to put some security things into that. Okay, so how to start sorry, how to start to penetrate a IoT device. So we will go with some basic tactics that helps you to penetrate IoT devices. Like it's a hot topic right now. So the scope of testing. So as I already told you, like okay, IoT is a bunch of four or five things. So the first thing is your firmware. Everyone knows, okay, like okay, what is a firmware? It's basically that helps you to. It's basically a you can say a software, okay, for your hardware devices that makes user to communicate with the device. Hardware, okay, just like an example of bang you're again the bank, that's your hardware. The software, okay, the cloud environment, as I already told you. Suppose you are using some cam or something like that, so it requires a cloud. Then communication. If I'm using a band, Bluetooth band, so it's required a BLE. Okay, if I'm required some mobile cam I'm using, so it's mostly using CD, wireless communication, coax. Okay. So basically, this is the thing. So firmware in hardware, we will mostly check like JTAGs, UART, serial ports, memory chips, etc. And software, mobile, and web. Okay. In cloud, it can be anything like okay, might be they are having their own cloud or something like that. So basically, what are the current security problems we are facing? Okay, and if I'm talking about a firmware or a hardware or a web or a mobile or a cloud. So let's start with the firmware. Okay, and firmware, like most of the times, like the encryption is not there. The validation is missing below. I can update a firmware. Okay, I just downloaded the firmware. I just customize according to me, and I can easily upload. So there is no validation. There is hardcode sensitive information is also available. Okay, like you can get sometimes a username and a password or some keys or a cloud default username and a password. There are lots of sensitive information is also present. Like okay, I few months back I stripped the cam, like okay, a Chinese cam, so I get username and a password, hard coded username and a password. Okay, in that. In hardware, like most of the open debugging codes that is known as UART is mostly open, and like okay, if you buy some Chinese products like okay cam or some robots or some you can say child toys or something like that. So in most of the times, like all the things like okay UART code or JTAG codes and everything is printed on board, so you don't have to go much around that. So everything is readily available in your plate. So you have to just exploit that. Okay, and they are having insecure storage. Like, okay, most of the time, like what I noticed, like, okay, as I already told you, like, okay, username and a password, some key, some cloud, or some sensitive information are already stored in the hardware, okay, without any encryption. So when we are talking about a web application, so obviously, like the same thing what we are doing, you can have a check SQL injection, like, okay, in most of the web application, authentication bypass is possible, XSS is common, CSRF is there, SQL injection is there, so you can check out these things. In mobile application, again the same thing, like XSS SQL injection is damn common over there. Insecure APIs, like, okay, what API calling is damn insecure. Authentication is damn missing in most of the mobile application. What I tested till yet. So these are few problems right now we are facing in IoT security. Or if you are into bug hunting, like I think there are few programs available on HackerOne. Okay, so you can test their IoT. You can find a bug in their IoT programs or something like that. So you can follow the same methodology what we are testing today. So what will be the IoT pen testing methodology? So the first is evolution, device recon, okay, tearing and without tearing. Okay, we will discuss on that. Mobile, cloud and web APIs, firmware, reverse engineering, network or communication, you can see. Okay, non-invention, hardware attacks, videos. Okay, so let's get into it. So the very first thing, okay, what we are testing is known as, we will start with without tearing down. Okay, so if you are having a device, like if I am having my iPhone, your Android phone, your routers, your band, anything. Okay, so most of the times you can see the FCC. Okay, that is basically you will get in FCC the component version, hardware version, software versions, software system used. You will get lack of information over here, like, okay, all the juicy information you can find on FCC, and you can get a UR, JTAG, SPI, okay, what you can say, the internal circuit board, everything is present on that. I think if you notice, you will get something like that if you check your back of your whatever product you are using, or if there is some handbook or instruction guide, you will get the things in that. In Apple, I think um, in general, there is some information like that, so it will shows you the FCID. So how to check that? So let's take a look. There is a damn good. It's visible, right? Yeah. Okay, that's good. So there is a website known as fccid.io. Okay, so that's simple. Just take any FCC ID. We will take our own. So our FCC ID is, okay, like that. That is damn slow today. So we will take this HV4. SP17. Search for it. Okay. See. Lots of information. Site is damn slow. Okay. You will get the the what the issue? Okay, the application name, okay, equipment, the the BLE frequency range over here. You can get the user manual over here. If you want, you can check the internal photos. Just click over here. So if we are checking for some hardware issues like okay, debugging port, UART port, JTAG port, so we can directly get information, lots of information from here. See, you will get all the internal bits like that one by one. You'll get all the circuit diagrams and everything on fccid.io. I will share the link with you. At CPU information, you will get memories, you will get physical ports, whether they are using some ETH, USB, Ethernet, USB, circuit connection, UART or JTAG diagrams, architecture, if they are using some BLE, radio, whatever frequency range you will get a wealth of information over there. So that is the first step you can start with the record. If we tear it down, like okay, so just how you will tear it down, obviously you just require some screwdrivers and just open it, okay, and just check out like okay, like as I already told you, like if I'm going for some Chinese devices, okay, in most of the Chinese devices, okay, everything is printed on board, like you will get everything over there, okay, like JTAG, yeah. This is the thing what I want to show you. If you check out, everything is printed on the board, okay. So it's damn easy to find out, like okay, and if it's not printed on the board, okay, so you have to check it manually, okay. It's damn easy. You can even check on FCCID, like okay, you can use some Google Docs to find out, like okay, what are the bugs present, or sorry, what is the internal or external structure of that. So what you will get in tearing down, you will get a USB and the serial port. You can look out. It's damn easy. You can easily look out to that. Okay. Then you can check for UART. UART is mostly basically you will easily find some like 3 or 4 pins. Okay. Mostly it might be a spike pin or a onboard holes also. So you can find it out. It's damn easy. I will show you the better way to find it out. JTAG you can easily find it out. JTAG you will get. It's mostly like in the set of 6, 12, 13, 20 pins. SPI is mostly used, is basically a flash chip, okay. So you can check it out. So, okay, so these are the things. That's fine. We will cover UI. Okay, now what is firmware? As I already discussed, like okay, firmware is mostly used to have, it's basically some softwares, okay, that present on your device that is responsible for running the IoT devices. It's just like basically our operating system, that helps you to interact with the user. Okay, so we can obtain a firmware. Okay, there are a few other methods also, so I will share each and every method with you. So the very first thing, you can use some vendor website. If suppose I am using a brand of Fast Track, so I can easily get a firmware on a Fast Track website. Okay, you can use some like okay, if I am saying like Fast Track, so there are lots of Fast Track support groups, forms are available. You can ask over there. You can email to the vendor's website. Okay, they will give you You can download from some FTP servers. There are lots of FTP servers available where you can download a firmware, you can Google it, you can easily get that, okay, and you can dump the firmware from the device, okay. And how you will do that, I will show you definitely. So this is, I think, of TP-Link. You can, in firm update, I think you can easily dump a firmware from there. So what we will look in the firmware, as I already tell you, like, okay, you will get sensitive information about devices, hardcode SSIDs will be there, hardcode password you will get, API tokens and some endpoints. You will get some configuration files if you are lucky. Source code is there. I found when I tested few IoT devices firmware, so I get lots of private keys over there. Hard coded, if you check out source code, so there are like, okay, most of the developers, don't get me wrong, but what I tested in IoT, like, okay, they are damn lazy. So I found lots of hard coded username and a password in the command things. So you can check out this thing. So how you will do that? So for firmware analysis, okay, you can use Hackstuff. Okay, that is a good feature available in Linux. Okay, and you can use your dash and your firmware name. Okay, what I personally like is Winwalk. Okay, Winwalk is used mostly for extraction. Okay, and if you want to go for some automation, so there is Firmwalker is there and Fat is there. Okay, damn good tools. But I personally suggest you to use, if you are using, so I mostly suggest you to use Winwalk. Okay, it's damn good tool. Like, you have to just like Winwalk -e and just give your firmware name. So it will extract most of the things over there. Now let's talk about our hardware part, the UART part. As I already told you, like, okay, you can easily get, you can easily identify UART pins, okay, on your board. So mostly if it's printed, and if it's not printed, so you will see in group like 4 or a 3. So it's onboarded. I recently Teardown. I showed in one of the meet, like TP-Link router. So how you can exploit a TP-Link router with the UART code. So it's basically that big. So you can easily identify by like, okay, it's a group of 3 or a group of 4. So basically, the 4 pins represent VCC, that is GND, TX, and RX. VCC is voltage, GND is your ground, TX is for transmit, and RX is for receive. Basically, UART is, you can say, it's basically universal asynchronous receiver and a transmitter. Okay, as a synchronous works on time clock, so it's the clock rate, and so UART is mostly worked on baud rate. Okay, you can set a baud rate on which is basically do a communication. Like, okay, if I set a baud rate of 9600, so all my communication will be done on 9600 baud rate. So you can define like that, like, okay, which baud rate you want to use. Now, how to identify, like, okay, which is my VCC port, GND port, and a TX port if it's not written on the board. So it's there are 2 or 3 methods for that. Okay, you can use multimeter for that. Okay, just find out the GND pin. It's damn easy. GND, like, okay, just touch your multimeter probe over GND, and on some metallic device, if you get a beep, that means it's GND. And just keep your one pin on the GND and other on TX. Okay, and just turn on your device, because once you turn on your device, the boot process is going on, and you will just transmit lots of data over there. So you can easily find out that thing. Okay, but actually, what I found personally, like, it's damn hard to find out the pins via multimeter. So there is a damn good tool known as Logical. I will share again a link with you guys. So it's damn easy. You can find with the logic that, okay, which pins. You have to just shuffle the pins, and it will give you lots of information. So, and one more thing I forgot to tell you. You require a damn good tool. Okay, mostly I prefer to use is USB TTL. that is used to connect your whatever hardware you are testing to your system. Okay, it's a simple device with just like your USB, and on the other side it's having a pins like GND, VCC, TX, RX. You can directly connect over there. So it will basically help you to communicate with your system and your whatever device you are using for testing. Like it might be a router or when we are testing is mostly used to dump a firmware or to write a new firmware in that. Okay, they provide direct access to your RAM, flash. Okay, so it's damn easy if you are writing or if you are just uploading your own crafted or vulnerable firmware. Okay, so as I already told you, like you can find in a bunch of like 6 or a 12, 13, 18 or a 20. It's basically in the pair you can easily find out. It's basically my TP-Link router, so you can see like, okay, these are my GND pins and these are my GTEC pins. So it's easily, you can easily find it out. It's not that much difficult. Okay, now let's talk about identifying loopholes in your web consoles. Okay, so what things you required when you are identifying bugs in your web console? So you just required, mostly I preferred, okay, I'm just using Bugsuit for that, okay, or there are thousands of other tools available. You can use some of the scanners, okay, um, Arachini or Equinetics, but obviously you will not get the perfect things in that. So I prefer Zap or Bobsuit you can use. Okay, that is the best thing. You can mostly like, okay, what I noticed, like, okay, XSS is damn easy, SQL injection, authentication bypass, IDOT. Okay, so check the permission level of the like, okay, just create a two users in that. Like I worked for software solution as a product security head over there. So you can have like that. Okay, you can create two accounts, like, okay, one with the admin rights and one with the normal privileges, and just try to cross verify it. Okay, just try to like, okay, give set up the permissions, or just, so in most of the times, like, okay, it will bypass that particular thing. So as a web console, if like simple things, what mostly we are trying to find out in our when we are doing a VAPT or a bug hunting. So same things we are finding over here. In mobile application, again, there are two tools to be used. Like mostly what I prefer is again a Bugsuit, and Move SF is that is mostly used for static analysis. It's again a damn good tool. You can use that. Okay, you can start with basically checking out the source code of a application. Okay, you can use what is the tool name, GDGUI for that. Okay, and extract everything and check out, like, okay, manually, like, okay, you can find some hard coded uh, passwords or keys or tokens. Okay, you can few issues will be like hard coded firmwares, URL, like, okay, API call, like, okay, if they are having encryption key, most of the time you can find it out. Okay, username, password, hard coded username and a password. It's mostly like admin, and it's really shocking. As I already told you, like, okay, I tested a Chinese webcam few months back. I presented that in some meetup. So when making a communication with the cloud, okay, so it's having like, okay, username admin and there is no password. It's like a blank password you can send. So it's really a shocking, like, okay. Now talk about radio. Okay, okay, if you check out on internet, like in past 2 or 3 months, there are lots of guys. They are just sorry if someone is there. They are just promoting, like, okay, radio hacking. And if you just went to their post, so they simply showed you, like, okay, you can hear any radio channel on your system. Okay, so they are not going that deep when we are talking about the VAPT part or the communication. Okay, so what you can do with the radio is like, okay, you can make a jamming attack over there, modifying and replay attack, sniffing the radio packets. Okay, there is a damn good tool known as SDR. Okay, you can easily find on Amazon. Okay, and it's basically helps you to retrieve like, okay, what sniffing basically what what particular radio frequency, okay, the things are going on, so you can easily sniff that out. Okay, there are lots of things you can do, like, okay, you can check out our aeroplanes what we are coming. Okay, I forgot the name what it is. The aeroplane it's not basically a communication. uh, you can check like, okay, which aeroplane is visiting right now. Okay, well, what aeroplane takes off. You can take out SIFT. Okay, I recently tried to do that. Your key drops. Okay, if you are having a car, obviously the remote you are locking with your remote. Okay, it's working on RF. So if you know the frequency, okay, so I can easily open that particular car. Like, okay, I checked out like, okay. In most of the, I think last year in Nalcon, someone showed like, okay, a car hacking, and it's really a cool thing, like, okay, car hacking and everything. So according to my thing, if I'm just able to bypass your door, like, okay, with the RF, so I can get access to your car, so I don't have to do lots of things like, okay, to find out some pins and to exploit that thing. It's damn easy. I just try to check out your frequency. I just open the gate and I am. Now talk about BLE, like Bluetooth Low Energy, on which like most of your smart things work, your band, your everything. So what mostly, yeah, I think in one of my meet I showed like, okay, how I can exploit a smart band. I tried to exploit my fast track smart band. Okay, so it's damn easy. Like, okay, Bluetooth is basic. See, the issue is if I'm talking about with the IoT, like, okay, we can't have a keyboard for some security or for some passcode. Okay, on your the little smartwatch or a band. Okay, and we can't have the same thing with your cams. Okay, or if I'm using a Amazon Dot. Okay, or Google Home or Google Mini. So we can't have a small keyboard or something like to use some passcodes or some security codes or something like that. So that is the main reason, like, okay, you can exploit such things. So for how BLE works, okay, BLE is working on like service and the characteristics. Like, okay, there is a service like this showtime. Okay, then there will be a characteristics. Okay, you have to show minutes, seconds. Okay, you can put alarm. Then alarm, the characteristic will be, okay, what characteristic it will be used, like, okay, time and everything. So you can have a bunch like that. Like, okay, the characteristics, the service and the characteristic. Like, okay, service and what is the characteristic of that service. So I try to change like, okay, my time. Okay, some colors. Okay, there are few devices you can use for BLE. Bluetooth is damn costly. Okay, damn costly. And there is one good tool, CSR. Okay, Bluetooth version 4.0. You can easily get on Amazon or on a local shop also. It's damn cheaper. Like, okay, you can easily get in, I think, $200. And the tool mostly used for BLE exploitation or a Bluetooth exploitation. Okay, there's a damn good tool present in Kali known as Get tool. Okay, and if you are not having a Kali or if you are not used to it, if you are having an Android device, there is a option available in developers mode known as SCI dump. So it's damn easy. You just connect your watch with your phone, start your SCI dump, and start communication. So you will get all the details over there, like, okay, how it is communicating, how things are going on. And before that, you can start with, there is a damn good tool known as SCI tool, again presented in Kali. So it will gives you everything, like, okay, what is the service and characteristics available. Now talks about now with the next part. Okay, we tested like till BLE, the ZB. ZB is mostly used to monitor the things, monitor like okay, you can use ZB. It's basically a low wireless protocol. Okay, and what you can perform in ZB. ZB is mostly used, I think, in your I noticed in some of your smart devices for industrial controls, your water motors or smart water motors or smart temperature controls, they are using ZB. So in ZB, you can use sniffing for that. MITM is possible in ZB. So there are two tools if you want to exploit ZB. The hardware is RZ Raman. Okay, you can easily get in local market. Okay, or even in your Amazon or like that. Okay, and there is a damn good framework known as Killer B. So you can use that thing also, and it's really a nice tool. It will help you to exploit that particular thing. So these are the attacker tools mostly what I'm using. Okay, so I want to share with you. Okay, for packet inspection I'm using Wireshark. Okay, sorry. For proxy I'm using Bugsuit. You can use Zap also for Bluetooth. Um, Blue Hydra is there. GAT Tracker is there. SCI tool is there. BTLE Juice is there. Wireshark. Okay, SDR, as I already told you, software-defined radio. It's basically like our older radios. They are having big or something like that. So it's just like your USB drive. You can just plug it in your system, and you can use some softwares. And SDR softwares is available at RTL SDR. Okay, and you can. It will function just like your radio. Okay, and well, as you know, we all are into like cracking or hacking or a security field, so we can just try to exploit more or explore more things, okay, that are running on the radio packets. For mobile reverse engineering, APK tool is there, JEDEX is there, software disassembler, Ghidra. I prefer to use Ghidra for that. IDA is there, Binary Ninja, there are thousands of tools. Only DBG is there. Firmware reversing bin walk, that is the best tool. Okay, you can use any extraction tool, as I already told you. FAT is there, Firmware is there. For fuzzing, Kemu is good tool. Flash ROM is there. Okay, and Minicom is used like okay for your UART. Okay, if I'm testing some UART port or if I'm exploiting a UART port, so we are using Minicom for that. Okay, and for hardware, you require obviously screwdriver, multimeter, soldering irons. Okay, as my suggestion, if you want to explore more into IoT, okay, so start learn how to solder, how to desolder the chips and everything. You can buy some. There's a damn good vulnerable hardware available of ATP. You can buy that, or you can even for prior to they are having exploit kit, so you can buy that. But or if you want to buy some cheaper one, so you can just take one thing like okay, if you want to exploit a UART, just take one thing, buy some cheaper hardware, and you can exploit that. Okay, so don't go. It's my suggestion. Don't go for a whole package. Like okay, you can just buy a single product and you can test it out. Interface tools, USB to UART, flash dumper is there. For RF, Ubuntu, okay, that is again damn costly tools. Okay, for software, RTL SDR, as I already told you. Hack RF is damn good tool. It's like a bi-directional. In RTL SDR, you can only receive the things. Okay, but in Hack RF, Blade RF, it's a bi-directional. You can even transmit and you can receive it. But again, they are damn costly. For ZB, double C2531 sneaker is damn cheaper. You can easily buy from your local shop also. Sorry, or from Amazon or Flipkart store. Okay, you will get in under I think 400 bucks. So these are some reference ITP, IoT Pentesting Cookbook, okay, IoTPentest.com, IoTPentestGuide.com, and special thanks Jigasu, Mr. IoT Vidababu, is like God to me. That's all from my side. If you're having any questions later on, if you want more things, you can buzz me on any of these things like Facebook, Gmail.
Thank you so much, Vismeet. It's a pleasure hosting you, and thank you so much for this insightful session. Thank you, all viewers.